Welcome to another episode of Behind the Reality on Urbanpop Radio. I'm your host for today, Otomiwa Olufowoshe. And today we are going to be taking a closer look at Nigeria at 65, a nation rich in history, resilience, and possibility. So, behind the celebration, what does this milestone truly mean to our people, our future, our politics? Stay tuned as we uncover the stories, the struggle, and the hopes that define Nigeria at 65. Joining us today is Mr. Lawal Olanrewaju Temitayo, a public expenditure researcher with over 7 years experience. He has organized more than 50 town hall meetings across Nigeria, whereby he, engaged citizens on how to involve themselves in budgeting and governance. And currently, he serves as the senior program officer at the Abubakar Bukola Saraki Foundation, Ilorin Regional Office. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Olanrewaju.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. So, first off, I'm going to, tell you about our topic for today is Nigeria 65. Nigeria will be 65 October 1st, 2025. So the first question is, how did Nigeria independence in 1960 shape Nigerians' political, cultural, and economic identity, compared to when we're under the colonial rule?
Thank you once again, Tomiwa, for having me.
Welcome.
Good morning to all our listeners. Nigeria will be 65 on the 1st of October this year. Got our independence 1st of October 1960 after a lot of struggle by those historians who refer to as our founding fathers. A lot of water has passed under the bridge. We've seen remarkable changes, both culturally, economically, and politically, as a country and as a people. If we go down memory lane, we had nationalists like late Abat Macaulay, the late Nnamdi Azikiwe, late Obafemi Awolowo, the late Sir Tafawa Balewa, late Ahmadu Bello, the late Anthony Enahoro, and a host of others that time will not permit me to start mentioning them one after the other. All of these revered men fought assiduously to free Nigeria from the grasp of colonial rule. And their struggles has turned out to be our national struggles, and we've seen some remarkable changes. Politically, we are now independent. We can make political decisions as it affects us. We can now organize our own elections by ourselves, declare the results by ourselves, contest the legality or otherwise of such election results, and do all of this within the jurisprudence of the nation called Nigeria. As against when we were under colonial rule, where legal pronouncements will still have to be sanctioned by the Privy Court or the Privy Council in London then. So I would say we've made remarkable progress in our journey to sovereignty. However, there is still a lot to be done. Economically, the history of Nigeria shows that railway system, road infrastructure were constructed by the colonialists with the goal of exploiting our natural resources to further enhance their own economic interest. Our cash crops, our natural resources were mined, our cash crops were exported along this road and rail infrastructure. If you look at this, the history of the creation of rail system in Nigeria, the origin is usually from where natural resources or farm produce are gotten from. And then they are taken to the port where they are now ferried across international waters out of Nigeria to further the interest, the economic interest of the colonial masters. However, since independence, we have taken our destiny into our hands as a people and as a country. We've expanded the rail system, we've expanded the road infrastructure such that it can now benefit our people the more. I'm not saying it is woohoo yet. However, progress has been made. So we have gone from exploitation by colonial powers to now using our resources to develop our country. How far we have been able to develop our country is another matter. However, there is progress.
There's progress. Yeah,
and culturally as well, because I know your question is in 3 parts.
Yes,
Culturally, we've moved from being ashamed of our culture, because when the colonialists came, they put our culture to the back burner. They came with religion, with education, and that twin gift of religion and education had somewhat of a negative impact on our culture and our customs as a people. Yes, Nigeria is very diverse. We have several tongues, we have several languages and all of that, but one thing is common to all of us. We are cultural people. We hold our tradition in high esteem. But when the colonialists came, they brought in education, formal education, what we call Western education. They brought that in, and that relegated our culture and our tradition to the background. But since independence, we've been able to have a seismic shift, bringing our culture and our traditions to the forefront again. That culminated in what we call the Festival of Art and Culture in 77, Festac 77, where Nigeria became like the new bride, where all other African countries were able to come in here to express the diversity of the richness of their traditions and culture. And then we've also been able to use some of our resources, our cultural resources, to entrench our identity as a people. Now we have in area of fashion, before we use imported fabrics, now we have more usage of made in Nigeria fabrics, using them to sew what we call the exotic styles that are imported, but the materials used are sourced here. So we've made remarkable progress, even though there's still a lot more to be done.
So, sir, you spoke about the ethnic group, and that will lead me to my next question. The question is, what do you think the role of our leaders, the movements in uniting this diverse ethnic group towards the common goal of independence, do you think that role has been, their motive, do you think it has been achieved so far?
Their motive is one thing, the outcome is another thing. I wouldn't say that their motive is all altruistic. A large chunk of their motives is self-serving, unless we want to lie to ourselves. Nigeria is a diverse country.
Yes.
We have several tongues, we have several languages, we have several tribes. It's a country made up of several nationalities. And unfortunately for us, that diversity was supposed to be a source of strength for us. However, over the years, it has become a sort of weakness for us, because we've consistently and continually been driven along the fissures that divide us. The pressure points, the weak points that are supposed to hold us together have been exploited by the powers that be to further divide us, for them to keep perpetuating themselves in the corridors of power.
But sir, concerning these leaders, we have had civilian government, we've had military rules in Nigeria. So what do you think over the years? I think since 1999 we've had civilian rule till 2025 to date. What do you think to some extent, I was not there, but during the military rule and now compared to our civilian rule, do you think it was better then or now it's better?
that question is not a one shoe fits all size. Because there are several factors that we have to consider in comparing and contrasting our time during the military era as against now that we are in a civilian dispensation.
Yeah.
There are several factors to be considered. We'll consider the state of the nation, we'll consider the economy, we'll consider the population size, we'll consider the literacy level, we'll consider the poverty rate. So many factors that we need to consider. So it is not, if I give a broad answer, it will be like I'm using a single brush to paint everything. Unless we can break it all down. During the military era, there are certain limitations.
Yes.
And there are certain progress that were made. And I hope people can fact check this. During the military era, that was when we had the biggest, the largest, the broadest form of infrastructural development. The biggest, the largest, and the broadest. However, during the same military era, there was a lot of suppression of human rights. You can't criticize the government, but as you cannot criticize the government, there was still a lot of law and order.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knew their role. You know your limitation as a civilian, and the military personnel as well, I believe, in my own little way, also had national interest at heart. They might not have gone about it the best way.
Yeah.
Right is subjective. Right and wrong is subjective. But they might not have gone about it the best way. There are several options that are open to them. However, there's a larger picture. This country must move forward. This country must be developed. And to a large extent, they've been the greatest developer of the country, infrastructure-wise. Now, when we come to the civilian administration, since 1999, for the first time in the history of this country, we've had 26 years of unfettered, unbroken, uninterrupted democratic rule. However, in these same 26 years, we've had some steps forward and a number of steps backwards. There is rule of law on paper. In practice, it is not absolute. Just like human rights is not absolute.
Yeah.
There's free speech, but there's consequence after free speech. So, some of the things that we detested under the military regime is now being institutionalized under civilian regime. And all of these problems are localized, and I believe all of these challenges are localized. I believe the solutions should also be sourced locally. All of our leaders, none of them are foreigners. Since independence, none of them are foreigners. They are a product of the society. They might not necessarily be a product of the environment. Some were raised abroad. They've seen saner climes. They've seen working systems and all of that. And a whole lot of them are raised here. And unfortunately, a whole lot of them benefited from the ingenuity, the vision, the strategy, the good governance of our founding fathers. Only for them to attain positions of leadership and then go against what they benefited from. So, like I said, we've made some steps in the right direction, steps forward, but we've taken a whole lot of steps backward.
Thank you so much for that, sir. So now, 65 years later, do you think Nigeria has fully realized the dream and aspiration of its independence heroes?
No, absolutely not.
Why do you say so?
Thank you. At independence, if I recall, I was not alive then anyway, but from some of the footages, the speeches by Tafawa Balewa, speeches by Nnamdi Azikiwe, speeches by late Obafemi Awolowo, speeches by Chief Anthony Enahoro, Chief Michael Okpara, and so many other nationalists of repute then. Their goal was for every Nigerian to feel proud of being a Nigerian in Nigeria. Their goal was a Nigeria that works for all, irrespective of your tribe, your gender, your social status, your political or religious affiliation. Can we say we have achieved all of this? The answer is categorical no. Unless we want to play the ostrich again, hide our head in the sand while our torso is up in the air. Unless we want to keep deceiving ourselves. However, it is not all doom and gloom. There are rays of sunshine behind the dark clouds. Mostly thanks to the resilience of the Nigerian people.
Nigerian people. Speaking of the Nigerian people, I think it's becoming something of, like I say, Nigerians tend to adapt to the situation.
Yes. Unfortunately, yes.
Once this is done, you complain for a certain period of time, then boom, we move on. I remember 2023 when the current administration came into power, and then we had the old fuel subsidy, then we had the old scarcity. There was a time when they wanted to take out a lot of things like that. Nigerians, we complain, yeah, but we tend to adapt, which makes me question the whole celebration of this independence, to be honest. And now, the administration that we have in power, do you think, because they came into power and said they are starting from scratch, and I believe governance should be continuation.
Exactly.
It should be a continuation from the past, to the present. Then, if only those in the past have done their due diligence. But do you think this current administration is, starting from scratch? What did they mean by starting from scratch? That's the first question. And do you think they've done good so far by starting from scratch?
Your first question, starting from scratch. I'm not a member of this administration.
True.
I don't work for the government. I can only speak as an observer.
Yes.
Let's get something straight. Your view when you're outside is always different from when you get inside. Because there's a whole lot of information that is available to them that is not available to us. I will concede that. I will admit that. However, you spoke about fuel subsidy removal. It is my belief by my training that subsidy should be a short-term solution, not long-term. When subsidy was introduced in the 70s, it was supposed to be short-term, not long-term. So that was the folly of the government at that time, who felt there was too much money around and there was nowhere. In fact, it is on record that a former head of state, military head of state, who is still alive till today, he was quoted as saying, Nigeria does not have problem with money. The problem, the challenge then was where to spend that money. So, and that gave rise to a number of policies that engendered, that enhanced wastefulness, profligacy. But this administration came in and removed fuel subsidy. And that is about the only thing that the average Nigerian is enjoying from the government. Don't forget that about 13 years ago, when fuel subsidy was removed by the then ex-president Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, the present administration were frontline actors in mobilizing Nigerians against the removal of that subsidy. So now, 10 years later, when they were in power, they removed subsidy. And then if you protest, the protests are quelled. I believe it is wrong, morally, legally, constitutionally, for anyone to beat a child and then suppress the child from expressing pain. That's what we are experiencing. Whether they have done well or they have not done well, that is left for every Nigerian to determine as they deem fit. Because you see this rain that is falling, it has not stopped. Oh. It will touch everybody. It will touch everybody. Bad governance has no tribe affiliation. It has no party affiliation. It has no gender affiliation. It has no social status affiliation. And a good case in point is a celebrity or an influencer who could not secure basic health care despite possessing billions. And he ended up going for self-medication. A billionaire. So what do commoners like me will do? So that's why I said bad governance, it will touch everybody, irrespective of your status in the society. So the scorecard of the administration, they are just 2 years plus into the administration. They will soon clock 3 and then we'll go into re-election mode again and all of that. It is left for Nigerians to sit down, search their conscience, look at their quality of life now. Compare it to 4 years ago, 10 years ago. If they live better now, good for them. If they don't, then the choice is theirs.
Thank you so much. I was really, really, really educative, and I really appreciate your contribution into that. And we just hope that Nigeria being 65 will bring us, I believe, prosperity and, you know, advancements in most of this current administration has done so far. We have the infrastructure aspects, we have the anti-corruption part. I think he also worked on the whole passport, how to, like, there's no middleman on passport again. Then there's the whole 4 million bridge, Ikorodu to VI. And, you know, they're also working on infrastructures. But I feel like, should I call that behind the scene? We are seeing it, yes, but Nigerians are not feeling it. I don't know if that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, you are.
We are seeing it, yes. We know that, okay, the Lagos Calabar Coastal Road now linking would be good for Nigerians, but there are still some, as you said, common man like us. There are still some things that, well, to be honest, they would not go and touch everyone, so to say.
But their actions will.
But their actions.
Their policies will.
But their actions and their policies will touch everyone.
And even their politics, even the politics they play.
We actually everyone. Touch, yes. And, you know, Nigeria have coming election now. So we hope that, as you said, you look at your past life and, you know, see if it is better. And, you know, one thing about democracy is by the people and for the people. You know what is best for you in the next election. So thank you so much, Mr. Olanrewaju. It was really nice having you here. And
it's a pleasure.
Thank you so much to all our listeners. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and follow us on all our social media and the Urbanpop Radio NG. And don't forget to turn on your post notification so you get notified whenever we post another video. I remain Olatomiwa Olufowoshi and my guest, Mr. Lawal Urbanrewaju Temitayo. Stay tuned and I'll see you on another video. Bye.